Hello guys, it's Santia here. Today we're going to be reacting to some zack films again. So, I think we were at here.
He dropped the needle onto. If CPR does, he stood neck deep in the ocean. They grew the. He slipped through. If you shuck it, he fell onto the tracks. When the roller coaster drops, the man was sentenced to the death penalty. But he was. When the roller coaster drops, your intestines float up. The man was sentenced to the death penalty. But he was too fat for the injection to work properly. You see, he had gained over 200 pounds in prison. So instead of just one needle, they might have needed hundreds of them, meaning he would suffer a long, painful death. The governor stepped in to change his sentence. And even though he was given life in prison instead, he ended up dying from health issues 7 months later.
Damn!
The man was sentenced.
That's crazy.
Inside, 2 tiny nozzles slide into each ear canal. One sends in a warm stream of cleaning fluid through super tiny holes near the.
What kind of cleaning fluid? What kind? What kind? What kind of cleaning
tip? The fluid loosens wax pack.
What if it just builds up and boom? There's a literal. It's literally just clogged. So yeah.
Deep inside, swirling it into the stream. Then another channel sucks the liquid back out of your.
Look, this and this are perfectly equal. Like these are the same thing.
Your ear, pulling the wax with it before the liquid ever reaches the eardrum. A small pump inside the headset keeps the flow steady and controlled.
Okay. It was not brown, it was blue.
While the vacuum collects the dirty fluid.
Dirty? It makes sense, but bro! Why is this so brown?
Fluid into a sealed reservoir, leaving your ear canals completely cleaned.
Okay,
inside, 2 tiny. She picked up the wandering turtle and threw it into a pond, thinking she had just saved it. But when she posted the video online, people were outraged. You see, the animal she picked up had flat feet. This meant it was built for walking on land, meaning this wasn't actually a turtle, it was a tortoise. And since a tortoise can't swim like a turtle, well, I'll let you guess what happened. Now, she felt terrible and told everyone the tortoise had crawled back out alive. But since she never posted a video of this, well, people were skeptical. She picked up the wandering turtle and threw it in. If you stuck a slice of bread, he invented a secret salute for his students and made them recite a class motto over and over. Soon, other students got curious and started sneaking into his class, and he handed out membership cards to this secret club. But some were marked with an X, meaning they had to snitch on others. Those who questioned the teacher were taken out of the class by guards, but new students kept joining the movement. And by the end of the week, over 200 attended a rally, saluting the teacher while banners hung from the ceiling. But suddenly, a video played with images of not.
What the? But didn't even censor.
Nazis blindly.
Why is Bernard censoring it?
Following orders. And the teacher explained that this was all an experiment to show them how easy it is to be.
Not gonna lie. If I was forced to be a Nazi, I would take a gun, put it at my head, and just kaboom. Yeah, just kill myself with that gun.
Clip the actor. He invented a secret salute for his students and made them it is to become a Nazi. He invented a secret salute for his students and clip the actor to a rope in front of a green screen.
Look at those, bro. Look at these butt cheeks, bro. Damn. I'm just kidding, those aren't even good.
And set up 100 cameras around her. When she jumps, the rope is pulled to hold her weight.
Yeah.
At the same time, a button triggers the cameras, causing each one to
Why, guys, I need to eat something real quick. I'm gonna eat something real quick. I'm back. I forgot to pause the video. Oh, pause the video right now. This. I'm back, guys. It's the marshmallows. Many marshmallows.
take a photo in sequence while she kicks the other actor. And when the photos are put together and special effects are added, it looks like a single video, showing a super slow motion kick right to the face. Clip the actor to a rope. He stacked together the frame out of aluminum and wire before lining it with golden fireworks to build a ladder over 1,000 feet.
Damn, these marshmallows are good.
Tall. Then he tied the top to a massive helium balloon and let it slowly rise into the air. You see, he tried to make this ladder for decades, and whenever he failed, his grandmother cheered him on. But now that she was dying, he knew that he had to give it one last shot. He lit the fuse, letting the fire climb up the wires and into the fireworks. It burned up the metal frame and created a glowing ladder up to the heavens. After finally seeing his ladder light up the sky, his grandmother passed away shortly after. He stacked together the frame out of
That's actually sad, bro.
aluminum, and Claire took the new weight loss pill, excited to finally get rid of her hunger. She celebrated over a pizza dinner with her family, but her plate remained empty. Her appetite had vanished. She finally felt in control. Within just a few days, the weight melted off. But then, the real change started to hit. Pancakes smelled like vomit. Homemade meals made her gag. Even water tasted rotten. She tried to quit the pills, but even after she stopped, her body still reacted like everything was poison. Just the thought of food made her panic. Doctors told her the medication had connected the thought of food with being poisoned. It couldn't be undone, and it was happening to everyone who had taken it. After months of being on a feeding tube, she finally got the news. A second pill had hit the market, offering 24 hours of relief. She cried as she finally enjoyed dinner with her family, and every bite was better than she ever remembered. But within a day, the pharmacies were out of the new medication. People ended up fighting over the pills in the streets. One night, Claire dragged herself to a pharmacy. It was already filled with others like her. Rummaging through the medications scattered on the floor, she grabbed a handful of mixed pills and swallowed, desperately hoping that something in there would bring her hunger back. Claire took the new. They fill up the base of the cone, then hold it close to the nozzle to make the first bump. Next, they drop it down until the second bump is formed. And when the soft serve slows down, they flick their wrist while rotating the cone, leaving a curl on top. This started because the old machines accidentally made this curl, and it quickly became part of the Dairy Queen brand. But modern machines don't do it anymore. So the employees make the signature curl by hand. They fill up the base of the cone, then hold it close to the nozzle to make the first bump. Next, they drop it. If you pushed the Leaning Tower of Pisa with enough force, could you actually straighten it out? Well, as the tower was being built, one side actually began to sink into the ground. So builders tried to fix it by making the upper floors taller on one side, adding a permanent curve to the top to even out the lopsided base. So if you forced the base upright today, the top would no longer be centered over it. The weight would hang off to the side, and gravity could pull the whole thing down. If you pushed the leaning tower of Pisa, the dogs would poop in the streets, and soon the city was covered
Now, that's why I hate those.
in it. So officials set up special checkpoints, and anyone
That happened in China.
who handed in poop was given a lottery ticket. Citizens rushed to pick up the poop, collecting over 14,000 bags of it. And when the raffle was drawn, the winner received a bar of real gold, all because she turned in poop. The dogs would poop in the streets, and soon the city was covered in it. So officials set up. Wrap the dry noodles tightly around a pair of chopsticks. Then hold them lifted above a pot of hot oil and carefully spoon that oil over them. This causes the outside strands to fry first, turning the surface stiff and crisp. As you keep spooning more oil, more strands harden and lock together, fusing into one rigid shell. Then let it cool and the noodles should hold their shape. Wrap the dry noodles tightly around a pair of chopsticks. Then hold them lift. As he strummed, he used his right foot to press the frets and change the chords. You see, he was born without arms, but when he was a kid, his dad found an old guitar. He brought it home for him to use, and he learned how to use his feet to play. He started performing at the local park, and his story went viral. And soon enough, the man who played with his feet was playing for crowds around the world. As he strummed, he used his right.
It actually does make sense, bro.
They would wave branches beside the car while giant lamps light it inside the studio, making shadows that look like trees passing by. And fans are aimed into the open windows to blow the actor's hair like the wind. Two people rock the car back and forth, and behind it, a giant LED screen plays a video of the road. So when you look through the camera, it seems like the car is actually driving. They would wave branches, but as you play scissors, a high-speed camera films your hand, watching for tiny changes in your fingers. As soon as they begin to form the shape, a computer program signals to the robot to play rock, and the hand forms its own move, all within a split second. But since it's way too fast for the human eye, it looks like you're playing at the same time. So, no matter what you play or how fast you move, the robot will win every single game. As you play scissors, a high-speed camera films your hand, watching for tiny changes in your fingers. As soon as they begin to form the shape, a computer program signals to the robot to play rock, and the hand forms its own move, all within a split second. But since it's way too fast, the trigger is pulled, the bullet is fired, and the casing expands, which traps it inside the chamber. So, a hook-shaped piece of metal is attached to the bolt, and when the bolt is
I'll be back. Sorry. Let's get back to recording. I got the snack.
Pushed forward, this hook slides under the casing, catching onto a special groove at the end. As it pulls back, it brings the casing with it, but it can't stay inside the gun, which is where this spring-loaded arm comes in handy, clearing the gun for the next round. The trigger is pulled, the bullet is fired, and they would test the game over and over as they created it. But passing each level would take too long during these tests, so they would add special codes, and pressing certain button combinations gave them a bunch of power-ups, testing difficult levels without having to struggle the whole time. But when the game was released, those codes were still written in, meaning if a player discovered them, they could cheat. Eventually, developers added them on purpose, which is why you can call a certain number in GTA and suddenly get a free helicopter. They would test the game over and over as they created it, but passing each level would take too long during these tests, so they would add special codes, and pressing certain button combinations gave them a bunch of power-ups, testing difficult levels without having to struggle the whole time. But when the game was released, those codes were still written in, meaning if a player discovered them, they could cheat. Eventually, developers added them on purpose, which is why you can call a certain number in GTA and suddenly get a free helicopter. They would test the game over and over as they created it, but the dog was placed inside a wheel attached to the ceiling, and as it ran, the spinning wheel turned a rod. This rod slowly rotated meat over open flames, cooking it evenly. And these dogs were bred on purpose to have long bodies and short legs, so they were
wiener dogs, I guess.
Were heavy enough to turn the wheel while still being able to fit inside. But the work was exhausting, so some kitchens kept 2 dogs and swapped them when one got too tired. But machines eventually replaced the wheel, meaning the dogs weren't needed anymore, and the breed eventually disappeared. The dog was placed inside a wheel.
Not again!
And thought someone had left a piece of glass as a prank. But it was actually the largest diamond ever found, about the size of a human fist. Diamond cutters studied the stone for months before cutting it, because one wrong move could shatter the whole thing. When he was finally ready, he placed his blade and struck it, and the blade broke. He got a new blade, tried again, and this time it worked. He and his team spent months cutting it into 9 major stones and nearly 100 smaller ones. The biggest piece was placed in a royal scepter, and from that single stone came jewels fit for royalty. He pried it out from the dirt and thought she was born without a muscle above her eye, meaning she couldn't blink. So doctors lifted her eyelids and threaded a small sling under her skin. That sling was attached to her eyebrow muscle. So when she raises her eyebrows, the sling pulls her eyelids open. And when she relaxes the muscles, her eyelids shut, giving her a way to blink. But her eyes still looked different. And growing up, she was bullied for it, until she shared her story online and finally found support. She was born without a muscle above her eye, meaning she couldn't blink. So doctors lifted her eyelids and threaded a small sling under her skin. That sling was attached to her eyebrow muscle. So when she raises her eyebrows, the sling pulls her eyelids open. And when she relaxes the muscles, place 2 boards on either side of the pipe and draw a straight line across the front of both boards. Next, push them together to connect the lines, and line a ruler against each side of the pipe to sketch a box around it. After that, draw a diagonal line from one corner, and repeat this on the other side, creating an X in the center. Then tie a string to a pencil, pinning the other end to the X, and spin it to trace a perfect circle. Once you cut it out, the boards will fit perfectly around the pipe. Place 2 boards on either side. The pilot is strapped on top of the glider, and a jet engine sends it along the runway for launch. Then
Skip.
the judge told the man that he would be executed next week, but he didn't tell him which day. He said it would be a complete surprise, and if the man wasn't surprised, well, he wouldn't be executed. Now, the man knew if he was still alive on Thursday night, then the only day left to be executed would be Friday, which means it couldn't be Friday, because he would know. But now that Friday is impossible, if he were still alive on Wednesday night, then the execution day would have to be Thursday, meaning he would know. So it couldn't be Thursday either. This same logic erased every single day in the week, meaning the execution could not happen at all. This put the man at ease as he relaxed in his prison cell. But on Wednesday morning, the guards grabbed him to be executed. He was shocked. This didn't make sense. And that's when he realized. Once he convinced himself that it wasn't going to happen, he was surprised when it actually did. The judge told the man that he would be executed next week, but he didn't tell him which day. He said it would be a complete surprise, and if the man wasn't surprised, well, he wouldn't be executed. Now, these two islands are so close that when the ocean freezes, you can walk between them in about an hour. But if you started on Friday at noon, you would arrive to the other one on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And if you walked back, it would suddenly be Friday again. You see, as the Earth rotates, the sun hits different places at different times. So somewhere on Earth, today is always ending while tomorrow is already beginning. So to keep everyone on the same page, a line was drawn across Earth, marking where the calendar flips to a new day. And these two islands sit on opposite sides of that line, close enough to walk, but almost an entire day apart. These two islands are strapped on a pair of giant metal. When it senses movement, a drone lifts off, and it follows a pre-recorded flight path through your house, taking a video of everything around it to check for intruders. So instead of security cameras in every room, one drone checks them all, then stops recording once it's done. But it does capture everything inside your home and stores that information online, which is why some people avoid it. When it senses movement, twist out the stem, then press the base of both thumbs deep into the small stem cavity. Then wrap your fingers tightly around the apple and squeeze hard with your fingers. Hold that pressure and roll your thumbs outward. This causes your fingers to compress the apple from the sides while your thumbs pry the top apart. As you increase pressure, a tiny crack forms in the stem pocket and the apple splits cleanly in half. Twist out.
Okay, that was the last video of today, so goodbye guys. We watched the films. This is part 2, so bye guys, and peace out.